Welcome to the Bonnie Forward Show, and I am your host, Bonnie Forward. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome once again to the show one of my favorite guests, Sean Cassidy, the son of the late great actor Ted Cassidy, who played the iconic role of Lurch on the Addams Family. In our last interview, 3 weeks ago, Sean was preparing to go back to Philippi, West Virginia, where his father was born, to attend his first ever Lurch Fest. So, without further ado, welcome back to the show, Sean Cassidy.
Just quick, got it.
Great to see you again. Great to see you again, my friend.
Good to see you, Bonnie. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's always such a pleasure. Let's just start out by asking you to tell us all about Lurch Fest. I want to hear everything from beginning to end, when you got there, what you saw, what
is
went
this
on
the
each
is
day.
this the 3-hour version of the Bonnie Forward show? Okay.
Yes.
Well,
I wanted the extended version.
Yes, it was fantastic.
Was it emotional? Was it weird? Who did you meet? Everything. Let it rip.
It was just wonderful. It was just wonderful. I walk down the street. Everybody stops me and talks to me. Oh, you look so much like your dad. So many people remember him. Apparently, my father lied to me about his academic career because he had no time to go to school. If all the stories are correct, he dated everybody's grandmother in that town, apparently. And I guess he took about 300 women to the prom because people kept coming. Oh, your dad took my mother, took my grandmother to the prom. Oh, is that right? Okay. It was just so fun. I mean, clearly they have adopted him and revere him as the favorite town son, and it was just so wonderful. We could hardly pay for a meal. I remember the first dinner we had there and getting around, so it's been taken care of. By whom? Yeah, no, people they're just so kind-hearted, and it's just a wonderful time.
Oh, I just love it. I love it.
Okay, that was just walking around the town. Lurch Fest itself.
When did you get there?
Got there Wednesday night, and Thursday tried to walk around clandestinely. I wanted to show
John, you're 6'7". How can you walk around clandestinely?
It was not easy. It did not work. That plan failed. But it was really fun to walk around. Here was grandmother's house, and here was the Dairy Queen where we hung out. Here's the swimming hole by the train tracks. So we tried to do that before we geared up for everything. And that was a lot of fun. Although interesting, there are two mysteries about Dad, one of which came to light while I was there. Of course, the one we talked about before is, where are his cremains buried? It's still a little mysterious about that. And which house did he grow up in? I'm still not sure, and no one there is very sure. In Philippi, West Virginia. We have some ideas. They keep looking at this one Victorian house that kind of looks like the Addams Family house, but I'm certain it's just because it kind of looks like it, and it's not that. So we kind of played with that, looking around different houses, trying to get different people's stories to nail that down. Couldn't really do that. And then on Friday night, they made me up in the makeup. I think you saw that.
I did see that.
It was a lot of fun, and came out and did a Q&A with Christopher Cook, who's writing a book about that. And then they opened it up to questions in the audience. And I'll tell you, Bonnie, what I loved, I've gotten a lot of stuff about Lurch over the decades, but this town was more about Ted Cassidy. Because he was there. The people remember him on the football team, on the basketball team in high school. That was so lovely. And to get questions about that, and about my grandmother and my aunt and the family there, that was wonderful. I had the best time. It was so fun.
Do you have any family members still there?
Like I don't. There was a bunch of family back when, but now there's just when I visit, I suppose now.
Yeah. Okay. So you're.
I don't know. With all those grandmothers, who knows how many Cassidys are wandering around Philippi? I'm not. I don't know.
You've got brothers and sisters you never
That
knew.
I don't even know about. They could have come to Lurch Fest. I wouldn't even know. That's right. By the way, can I just interject here? That's not Dad at all. Dad, me, my son Trevor, we're all very one woman kind of guys. And so that's part of what makes that story kind of funny. He was
Oh,
not.
it does. That's hilarious. I mean, any of those women could have said, "I went to the prom with your dad. I went to the prom with your dad." It's like,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
you get a car. You
a
get
nice
a car.
little cat fight right there in the middle of Lurch Fest. That's right. Who dated Ted Cassidy the most competition? And we had a costume contest, people dressing up as Lurch, as Morticia, as Uncle Fester, and a couple others, and I judged that. That was a lot of fun. I signed autographs on pictures and magnets and bobbleheads and things people had. There was a line on my table the entire day. It was just so lovely. And again, people were kind of interested in me as Sean Cassidy, not necessarily as son of Lurch, because it was Philippi, West Virginia, where Dad grew up. So that was just so fun. I mean, imagine having a festival dedicated to your father,
I know.
and you look like your father, and
Yeah,
you walk.
exactly.
It was just the best time. I can't wait to go back
amazing.
next year.
That's amazing. Well, I see the T-shirt. Point to the T-shirt
Yes,
on.
T-shirt over here, and I'm
And
wearing this one
there
here.
we
So we
go.
can get
Oh, I
that
love that.
reframed.
That one, I love that one too. That's a lot of
Yeah,
color in
it's
there.
really fun. I got to get some more.
And there's a bobblehead behind you too, I see. Yeah.
That's right. Oh,
Right.
that was kind of fun. I had, it wasn't a bobblehead. I guess we call it, if you're a guy, you call it an action figure.
Okay.
So in 1964, got the Lurch and the Uncle Fester action figures, and they were on my desk. I remember there's a picture of them from a 1965 TV Guide photo shoot that shows it. I don't have it now. Anyway, there was a guy in line at Lurch Fest who came and showed me his. And I thought, I don't know, I was caught up in the, I thought he was giving it to me. So I don't think it. He said, oh, no, I'm selling this. And I said, well, just because I would be interested personally, how much are you charging? He told me $500. And I said, oh, well, enjoy it. Do you mind if I take a picture of it? And then Bonnie, I came home and I looked on eBay and I saw it was like there's some out there for like $1,200.
Yeah, easy.
Oh, I should have bought that thing on the spot.
Right,
But
exactly
that's the
right.
original 1964. It actually had blonde hair. I don't know why that was. But this one was just commissioned and just put out for Lurch Fest, and kind of fun. I'm glad I have one.
Well, the one that you've got there, he's got black hair. So
Yeah.
that's, and yet the T-shirt, he's got the gray hair, which is what he had.
It
So
must be the young Lurch. I'm not sure whether must be. I don't know.
Or
But
maybe
it was
that's
such a blast.
maybe that's the real son of Lurch.
Yes. Oh, and what was also good was the Lurch burger. It was just a bun and cheese and lettuce and onion, whatever. But the meat, oh my gosh, you could. It was just delicious. They do everything so wonderfully there. It was all so genuine, and I got so caught up in it. I loved it.
I think that's incredible because it was about you. So was it very emotional for you? Obviously,
it was.
What was that museum-y thing that you were going through?
Yeah, so the Philippi Museum has all kinds of fun stuff. Philippi is the site of the first land battle of the Civil War. So there's a lot of history there, and that's very fun. But there's also a section devoted to Dad. And there was some stuff there that I hadn't seen before. There was an article they had up there from I forget the name of it now, but it was the high school newspaper. And it talked about how Dad was considering this and that, and that he was considering the University of Georgia. And I thought, this is the first time I've ever heard this. This must be before Dad considered acting. And so it was just interesting. They had some things. I told Marissa, the curator there, is a wonderful woman, put a lot of this together, that I have some stuff for her. So I still need to go through some boxes and see what I can donate to the museum.
That's so cool. Don't give too much away. You want to frame stuff. So, and
right. No, I know that. And I have to, actually in the early days of Facebook, I put a lot of pictures out there I should not have. But I believe they're low resolution. The quality's not like the originals I have. So at least that.
Well, there's plenty out there if you just
Yeah.
Google your dad and Google you, and
Right.
all you type in is Ted Cassidy have children, and bam,
Yeah.
up on the
There we
photos
are.
or in magazines or whatever they are. So that's
Right.
pretty much public domain.
Right. Yeah.
Especially
That's okay.
because they were clearly, staged photos. It's like, all of Lorna Luft's ones with Judy. It's like, it's always like Joey and Lorna and Judy, or it's, and
Yeah.
maybe Liza's in there, or whatever, but they're all
Right.
staged. It's clear and obvious, everybody's in the
Yeah.
outfits. And
Exactly. Well, the fun ones I have are, from home.
yeah.
That's the really fun stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so cool because I know how your dad used to read to you guys and everything, which is really cool.
Right.
What walk us through Friday? Like, was anybody able to watch? Who did your makeup, your Lurch makeup? And
Christopher Cook, again, he's the author of a book coming out next year about Dad. And he has some theatrical training, and he did the makeup. It was pretty, it was pretty quick, but it was pretty close and good. And
it was very close. Yeah, I'm shocked.
This was held in an event room, and they filled the place up. There were people standing on the sidewalk. It was just so fun.
How many people were there, would you reckon?
They say like over 160 people in that room. It's a town of 3,000 people. It's this tiny little town, and they got all those people.
Yeah, it's a big chunk.
That was fun. And then came out, and I told them beginning, I'm not going to do You Rang, because no one on earth can do that. James Earl Jones, Morgan Freeman, Jeremy Irons, they cannot do that voice. So I'm not doing. But I did come out and growl. I worked on the growl. Wow. And then smiled and said, okay, now I'm Sean,
we're done now. No, we're done now.
Yeah.
But when you're in that makeup, it's like, it's I told you, it's uncanny. It's uncanny.
Yeah. And that's a lot of fun. It's always been true. Like I think I mentioned last time, I remember going in a few places with Dad, and they said, oh, you two brothers? He just ate that up. But we do look alike. Yeah.
Yeah, your dad said, yeah, I'm the younger one.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm the younger one. So besides the museum and looking at the houses and stuff like that, at what time did you get there to get that makeup put on, and was anybody allowed in to watch it?
The station,
that would have been a thing.
Yeah, there was
in and of itself, that would have been really,
people, right. Well,
people would have paid to watch that.
Well, station WBOY was back there.
Oh,
and
wow.
They got some footage, and they interviewed me while the makeup was going on.
Oh, wow.
But other than that, it was just, sort of the in crowd, my wife and Christopher's wife, and
that doesn't count.
That's about it. Oh, exactly.
Public.
When I walked out, people stood up.
Of course.
Like there was somebody important in the room or something.
Well, there was.
It was outrageous.
There was somebody really important in the room. The only thing that I thought was I thought they would use some of the Addams Family music.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if people, I'm not sure how all the rights to that work. It seems like it's.
Yeah, but if it's a private, public/private.
Yeah, I know, that's right. And maybe you could at least do da-da-da-da.
Exactly. Because it was so quiet, and then you walked out and you could hear people just going, oh.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a huge organization that put this on. It's really some people who were volunteering. And so whatever we could get together, I was actually impressed with what they were able to pull together.
Yeah,
great.
I was impressed. Well, just seeing how many people were there was amazing.
Yeah.
Was it weird?
Bonnie, in a way it was. And the whole thing remains a little weird because, as I explained, Dad had a love-hate relationship with this character. And, and I truly believe if he were alive today, he would recognize how beloved it is and would look at it differently and feel differently about it. And that's what I've been feeling through this. It's a tribute. It shows my love for Dad and the character, and that's what I want to come through, and I think it does. But yeah, because of that, it was a little strange. Seeing me in makeup. No, I've been in
Had you
makeup
ever done the
before.
makeup before? Had you
Oh,
ever?
sure.
Oh, you've
Different.
done Lurch before?
Not Lurch. No, that was the first time as Lurch. Yeah.
So what did you think when you saw yourself?
Um, I thought
It had to
ghastly
be
is how
weird.
that is how it's supposed to look.
Yeah, but you must have been weirded out by the fact it's like looking in a mirror of your dad.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
I mean, he got the neck things and he got the
right.
all.
And he worked on the neck. He said the neck is always the most important for that
Absolutely.
stuff. I thought that was really interesting.
Because of the bow
It
tie.
was a little weird. I didn't mind it. I thought more about how Dad would have thought than how I felt.
Really?
And yeah, and like I say, I think he might have been okay with it. He might have smiled. That's what I was had in my head.
Oh, absolutely. He was smiling. And it was just so because it was so the makeup was so accurate that it's like when your voice came out of the entire, I mean, it wasn't just the
Yeah.
face. I mean, you wore the entire costume.
Right. Right.
So it's when your voice came out of it, it was so weird because it was like, wait a minute, we're supposed
Yeah.
to be hearing Ted, and
Exactly.
that's strange. So
Right. Right.
I'm and I mean, my mind was blown when but the before and the after, oh my
Yeah.
goodness. I mean, that was just, it shows the power of makeup,
Yes. Oh, it does.
you
It's
know, because
fantasy is a great thing, and when it's real right there, even better.
exactly. I mean, it just must have been so, but I can't help but think that because when someone's in makeup, they're oblivious to the fact that they're in makeup, especially when
Right.
in a character. And you weren't in character, so it was just, it was you as your dad.
Yeah. First time ever. Uh,
That's so trippy.
that was trippy. I I'm not sure I'm going to do it again. I remember we were talking. You should take 1,000,000 photos now because if I never do this again, we'll have the photos here.
Mm.
Uh, so I'm not sure. I'm hoping to get into some autograph conventions and some events that feature Lurch and the Addams Family and 1960s shows, those kind of things. And not sure if the makeup's going to be part of that. I guess we'll see. It's kind of the beginning of a journey.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that, has it now well, obviously now it has become an annual event, but this is only
Right.
the third time.
This was the third one, right? Next year's the fourth.
Okay.
And this time they didn't know I was coming until just a few weeks before, now a whole year ahead of time. So it'll be interesting to see how it's put together.
Oh, that'll be marvelous. I mean,
Yeah.
that's great. So do we have any plans to do something similar in other cities?
I don't know about Lurch Fest, but events where Lurch can be a part of it, that's what we're looking at now. And this is kind of new, not just to me, but to everyone else. So I'm trying to find connections and make that happen.
Well, people love all that stuff. You and I talked about that in the last interview. People love
Yeah.
it. They love, this is the time for all of this retro stuff to be coming. It's all, everybody's doing retro everything. I mean,
And
you look
not
at
just
something, and Lurch is a huge part of that.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, not just the retro stuff, but I think extremely relevant for the day. I
Oh,
mean,
absolutely.
Lurch was a very different guy. He kind of scared people. People didn't really understand him. That those are themes which are real relevant today. And he remained a good guy, faithful, doing his job well, making the right decisions, disagreeing with most everything, which makes sense to me. So I think he's a character for today.
Yeah, and he was so different. He was so different as that. He was oh God, what's the best way to put it? He was just by his stature and the fact, as we talked about in our previous interview, that he refused to hunch over.
Yeah.
It's like that. He stood tall, he stood
Stood tall.
proud, he was, not this, bumbling butler that was gonna be
Yeah.
just, looking in a
Yeah, in the Charles Addams cartoon, he was a fixture. He was a light pole.
exactly.
And what I notice in the iterations after the TV series is that that's what they've gone back to pretty much. Lurch, I don't know, has Lurch had one word in any of the shows? And the cartoon, I guess, because that was Dad's voice.
Right.
Uh, but yeah, he made that thing unique, and it just remains unique right there in the this.
Absolutely, because even in the new iterations, they don't have him in a lot of it.
Yeah,
Or
right.
they have him in one or two scenes where he's opening the door when
Yeah.
somebody gets out or something
No,
like
I think he made the character too good. No
that.
one can no
Touch
one
it.
can do that character. No one
Nobody,
can do that
nobody can
voice.
touch it.
That was it.
Nobody can touch it. So they don't,
So they don't. Yeah, better not to. Right. Because they think it's
because they would
compared
wreck
and
it.
probably not well. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. So, do you think that you would be interested in doing, like, not obviously not Lurch Fest, but something of the same ilk, in where you're not sharing it like Comic-Con or something like that, or the Star Warsy things, or the Star Treks, or in Vegas and stuff like that? I mean, Star Trek does a whole thing in Vegas. I mean, you could do, I mean, I'm just saying, you
No,
know.
I know. Ruck is a popular character, and Dad was in 3 episodes. So yeah, that would be thing. And of course, I have my great Gene Roddenberry show. Watch the prior Bonnie Forward show to hear that story.
Mhm.
Yeah, so Star Trek, I'm thinking there is some discussion about whether or not I could represent the Addams family, not just Lurch.
And that's what I'm saying. That would be great. I'm
Yeah,
saying that you could do an entire Addams Family thing as well. In,
right.
I mean, I know people in LA that would just, flock to see you,
Yeah.
and didn't do the makeup, to sort of do the same thing you did in Philippi, but you do it here. But you have people who pay to come and see it. You have
Maybe a little
people,
bigger audience. Yeah.
yes, just slightly. People would pay. I mean, I've the feedback I've had from the last show, people will pay to come and see you.
Ah,
They
that's,
will pay to come and see you.
I'm not
Just to
against that.
see you, not even to like hear any, they don't expect
Ah,
stuff, but just to see you in the full makeup. And you could have, of course, you could have Chris there if you wanted, or you could have, an actual Hollywood makeup artist. Obviously, the original one isn't still alive, I don't think, that did your dad's makeup every day,
right. I don't
but
know. Yeah.
or every week. But yeah, certainly special effects makeup artists by the dozens, would
Right.
flock to have a chance to do that.
Yeah, I was thinking if I hit some of these conventions, I might have to learn how to do a slap thing quickly on my own and get something that suggests it, if not really well. But we'll see. I have to figure that out.
But you can't do that in LA, Sean.
No, you're right about that. Yeah,
You have to go all
you
in.
have to go all in. And I'm willing to. I'm willing to. I think that'd be fun.
You might as well. I mean, this is what people, I mean, like I said, the feedback from the last show that we did 3 weeks ago, people are like, where can I go and see this? Where can I pay? Where can I buy a ticket to go and see this? And I'm talking about the whole
Wow,
thing, where you
that's
get people dressing up, where you get people, the whole thing, because I'm telling you, Postmodern Jukebox, Scott Bradley's made a fortune doing modern songs, but doing them in old, like 30s and 40s costumings and stuff like that. A Postmodern Jukebox is like, everybody knows about it.
wow,
Everybody
okay.
dresses up when they come and pay 150 or whatever they pay for those tickets when they come to like Thousand Oaks Civic, Plaza, or wherever, or the Amazon or whatever, and they pay the big bucks to, come and see, and they dress up
Yeah,
just to watch the show. It's a whole cult thing.
I'm all for that.
So I'm saying we go all in. Bonnie
I'm
Forward
with
is
you.
declaring in front of her attorney, Sean Cassidy,
There you
that
go.
I expect to be paid for
I,
these ideas. I expect to be paid for these ideas. And I'll find that $1 and give it to you.
okay.
But I don't come up with these ideas to end up somebody ripping me off. But I think this would be perfect. I think you could go everywhere. You could go. I mean, you could go to Japan and they would freak out to see you. I mean, it's like the Addams Family is a cult. Is a cult, has a cult following all over the world.
Right. And it's interesting. While I was there in my booth signing autographs, I had this patter down, where are you from? What do you do? All this kind of, I was amazed how many people were from Australia, England, all over the US to come to this.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
That's what I'm saying. I'm, like I said before, let's take it on the road, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Getting that RV.
Yes.
I hate to fly, so I'm going to see about an RV.
Oh, whoops. You're like Whoopi Goldberg.
That leg room is
bus with the lurch on the side or something.
I don't know what's happened to leg room on planes, but it's not good.
Yeah, you're the one that has to always sit by the exit.
Yeah.
That's the only place to fly, unless you go first class, sir, which is the only way to fly for you.
Southwest doesn't have first class.
No, but soon you'll probably be flying in your own Lurch jet.
Oh, sure. That's what I want.
That's what happens when you get to where you are.
Okay.
It's
launched by the Bonnie Forward Show.
That's exactly right. Don't you forget it. But yeah, I mean, I see this going, and I've told you before, this is only the beginning of the explosion.
Well, I hope so. Yeah, the glitz and glamour stuff, whatever, but being able to talk about Dad and share that and keep the memory and the legacy and the tribute going is just fantastic. I love that.
And it's important.
It really gets me going. Yeah.
And it should. It's your turn. It's your time. It's your time. It really is. It really, truly is. And it's, to me, just the fact that you did as much as you did in the second day that you were there, when you had to judge the Wednesday outfits, I guess, and the Lurch outfits. And did you judge all the outfits, or?
Yeah, we judged the whole thing.
Did anybody come as it or try to?
Well, there were a few its that were appended to other characters. Yeah, so it was there, and Thing was there, and that was fun.
That's very, very cool. How long did it last on the last day?
I guess it was noon to 9. It was all day, and it was pretty warm. But people were there loving it.
So did they have I know they had a Thing sandwich or some burger?
They had it. You know what? I didn't walk around much. I didn't get to see the whole area because I was in my booth. But yeah, they had all kinds of food named after the different characters. They had Urang beer. It was there was a brewery that put out Urang beer that I didn't get to have one. They sold out again before I could get it. They say they're going to send me a case.
No.
And I really hope so. That would be fun.
Oh, I certainly hope so. It'd be great promotion for them too.
Yeah. Exactly.
My brain's always going marketing. So, and then what other booths were there besides the beer booth and the thing?
Yeah, Chris Cook was next to me. He has some plays and other books that he has, and he had some T-shirts and things. And in my understanding, he sold out of everything. There were a lot of food vendors. Beer was available. Lurch and Addams Family things. I wish I'd walked around. Somebody gave my wife a knitted tape measure. So if there's everything in the world, it's just so fun.
That's wild. So you wrapped up, did you? So how did you wrap? How did the whole thing wrap up before we wrap up? Because we need to wrap up soon.
Yeah.
How was it all brought together at the very end? And
I'm not sure there really was anything. Near the end, we announced the winners of the costume contest. And there were live bands. Oh boy, those West Virginia musicians can play. That was just, they played some great music that day.
Oh, that's
And that was it. Like I say, there was no real central organization, just a whole bunch of individuals cooperating, getting this together, and they took down their stuff and put it away till next year.
I love it. I love it. And then you flew out the next day or the day after?
We drove out the next day to Washington, D.C., do a little visiting.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
That's really
that was
neat.
fun.
Oh, that's really neat. Oh, that's because it's so close. I keep forgetting him, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah,
So that's wonderful.
that
Well,
was
I'm
fun.
so glad Lurch Fest was such a blast. I just
So
think
am I.
it's just having an annual event honoring your dad is just like, and the fact that
Just incredible. Yeah.
yeah, and that they focus more on you as Sean and him as Ted, and it's just I just love this. I just love that that's where the focus went.
Me too. And thank you very much, Bonnie, helping to focus on this,
Of course,
on
it's my
Dad's memory and
pleasure.
all. I really
Well,
appreciate that.
he was a great guy, and he
I
was
thought so too.
really one in a million. And I was just so blessed and grateful to have had the opportunity to meet him on several occasions because he was everything that I had anticipated that he would be.
Well,
And
thank you very much.
he
Thank you.
was,
That's great to
and
hear.
you
I
are
love it.
definitely his son because he was a very kind, very loving, very giving person. And that you are exactly that.
Well,
So,
thank you for that. I appreciate
well,
that, Bonnie.
it is my pleasure and it's the truth. And I adore you, Sean, and I love having you.
Thank you
I
very much,
always
Bonnie.
love having you on the show.
Yes, love this show. Thanks so much.
Oh, I'm so glad you do. So let's look to doing another one soon.
Okay, very good.
Okay. All
I
right,
will.
sweetie. I love you so much. And we will talk anon.
Very good. Love you, Bonnie. Love the show. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you,
Talk to
Sean.
you soon.
Okay.
All right.
See you
Bye-bye.
later. Bye, honey. Okay, so that's the end of our show. And I hope you all enjoyed it. And as always, love and light, peace and love, and peace out. Thank you so much. Bye.